YouTubers, time for another video in this channel. I've done lots of videos lately, but it's fun. This is another recent vinyl find video, because I had the day off from school today and I took the opportunity to go into central Stockholm and do some crate digging. I had one thing that I wanted. I wanted more albums with this group, Hansson the Wolf United. And so I got it. I managed to find, I think, their whole discography. It was mainly this album that I wanted, Art Attack from 1985, because it contains the song Oberoende vad fursten säger, a song that I remember from my childhood that I like very much. Can't say and it's a great song, but if you compare it to the earlier Hansson the Wolf United records, they had lots of help with great studio musicians like Ola Brunkert on drums, Janne Bergman on bass, in some cases Björn Jason Lind on the keyboard. But in this case they made it all by themselves, almost, and it was more based on synthesizers and Lindrum and stuff like that. And I'm a bit allergic to that, so it sounds a bit too much 80s for me. But still, happy I found it. And it's on the X-Max label, which is a very odd label. I've never seen it on any other issues than with Hansson the Wolf United. And this is their second issue on the X-Max label, as far as I know. Yeah, and this is another Hansson the Wolf United container. I haven't listened to this yet. But I have to show you. I like the fact that it's on yellow vinyl. It's quite nice, and this is on the X-Max label as well. Right. They made a sort of a comeback in 1990, I think. When Hansson of the group had left, and it was called just the Wolf United. They have started playing together a couple of years ago and recorded another album of the name Hansson the Wolf United. But still, Dick Hansson has left the group and hasn't returned. So this is the album Der Wolf United, Roulettenburg, from 1990. I haven't listened to it. It's on the United label, which is also an unfamiliar label to me. I think this was quite a flop when it was issued, but well, since it's so very people don't know about this album. There's one more. Where's that? Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh, almost forgot. I managed to find their debut album too, Iskalla killen, Full av mänsklig värme, from 1978. And this is very good. We got lots of good musicians also, and including Janne Bergman, Ola Brunkert, Björn Linder on electric guitar, and as I said, Björn Jason Lind on a couple of tracks. So it has the right musical surrounding, and it's an issue on the label Bastun. The other album I showed the other day was also on Bastun, and Bastun was the name of a recording studio in, let's see now, not sure, around Stockholm somewhere. And this is my assumption, but it's a subsidiary to another label called Planet, and that label was run by the orchestra leader and arranger Mats Olsson. And I wonder if this Peter Olsson, who is very much involved in these more rockier productions on the Boston label. Maybe some relative, maybe some, I'm not sure. Right, okay, now over to a record that I bought all new, and it's the newest issue by Kebnekaise, and it's called Aventure. Looks like this. They're all posing on nice old tractors for some reason, don't ask me why. And this is the third LP they've done in the last 4 years, and they have all been very good, extremely great. I love these albums, and I think Kebnekaise of today is even better than Kebnekaise of the 1970s, and they were good back then as well. This album is a bit more playful than the last one, Idioten, which was more dark and more, well, and also more, yeah, it was a bit darker. This is more playful, and I like it very much. And it's on the Subliminal label, and the Subliminal label is a bit inspired by the Vertigo, because it looks like this. This is the B side, has this scroll, and of course then info about the contents on the other side. Yeah, don't watch this label while it's spinning. You may turn up believing you're a chicken. Right. And I've listened to this, and it's great. They are always great, and definitely worth having. This vinyl issue is also a limited edition, so only 500 copies has been made, according to the sticker that was on the plastic around it. Right, over to another album. I haven't opened this and listened to it yet, but I loved their previous album. It's Mumford & Sons, Babel. I can't show you what it looks like because I haven't opened it yet. I will later. Some people like this, and some people think it's extremely disappointing, and I haven't listened to it, so I can't really tell yet. But since I love their previous album that I can't remember the name of now, I think this was, of course, something I wanted to buy as well. Okay, so over to a Swedish prog band that I've been looking for their first album for ages. And now I finally found it. I had to pay a bit for it, but it's in top condition, and, well, Solar Plexus, with Jojje Wadenius and Tommy Slimborger from the group Made in Sweden, together with the married couple Monica and Carl-Axel Dominic. And this is a double album, and it's on EMI Odeon. There was an English language version of this album as well. That hasn't been... yeah, I saw that too, but it was very expensive. It's very expensive. This was quite expensive too, but I think since it's a quite sought-after album and not that incredibly common, and this was, as I said, in very good condition, this time I decided to buy it. Right, over to the interesting, to say the least, jazz musician and reed player Roland Kirk. And this is an album called Slightly Latin. I think it's from 1966. It's recorded in 1965. Probably released in early 66. This is probably a reissue, because I've seen this album online with a different sleeve. Different picture sleeve, but the same songs. And also the label, this Dutch Mercury label, of course doesn't look like the 1960s Mercury label. But never mind, it was a record that I look forward to listening to. I like Roland Kirk. I actually like more his earlier stuff. Like the stuff, he made an album with brother Jack McDuff. I have it on CD. I would like to have a vinyl copy of that someday, and probably will get to. Okay, I'm a Sky collector, as you know, and I found this. It's a bit odd. It's a promotional copy, not for sale. It's a 12-inch 45 RPM demonstration LP, apparently in some sort of connection with Bose. Direct Reflecting Hi-Fi Demonstrative LP, and it's a French issue. And we have 2 songs from Sky Volume 1 and 2 songs from Sky Volume 2. So I guess this was a record that was used to show how good the stereo equipment or at the Bose speakers sound like. Well, maybe it'd be a Dutch issue too, because it's written both in Dutch and in French. The back sleeve here. It's an odd issue. And it has the record number Promo 15, so it is obviously a promo. Oh yeah, I've been talking about the singer-songwriter Mikael Ramel for some time, and that I needed to really start getting his records because I admire him so much. And now I found another one. This is Mikael Ramel's musikband, Ryckeriesvansen from 1979. And one interesting with this album is that in some of the songs he's accompanied by the prog band Splash. And I've talked about that prog band here earlier, and I had no idea that they had cooperated with Mikael Ramel. So that was a nice surprise. So, well, and they use this Sonnet label that was used in the late 70s, early 80s. I don't know if I usually call it the Pyramid label. I don't know if anybody else used that name. So, another record in my Mikael Ramel collection found. And the last record I'm going to show you is one of the quite... one of the gaps, one of the serious gaps in my record collection. A record that I really ought to have, because I'm such an admirer of the musicians on this album, and it's a very famous album. One of these that are mentioned when people talk about the best album ever made. But for some weird reason, I have lots of other albums with this group. But this main solo artist mainly, but not this one, not their debut. But now I have it. Jimi Hendrix, Experience. Are You Experienced from 1967. This is a Polydor issue, and it's a German Polydor. This is probably from the 1980s. Yeah, I'm quite sure. It has an inner sleeve from Polydor with that shows like ABBA, The Visitors, Vangelis, Supertramp, Barclay James Hobbs. So this is yeah, it looks definitely like an 80s pressing with this Polydor label. But never mind, I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know if it's a good pressing, but still, I've got the record. Then if I want a better copy, I can find it at another time. It wasn't at all expensive, so it's not one of the most sought after pressings, but still, better than not having it at all. And I mean, you can never have too much Jimi Hendrix, can you? Right, so that was my nice haul of today. Hope somebody found this slightly interesting, and have a good weekend. I hope to see you soon again.